Were you paying attention at all to all the Halo Infinite gameplay stuff going on?
I was. I saw your tweet about it, about how you don't need sprinting in games if the level design accounts for it. I kind of agreed with you, but
that was a little hot take that I had. I was just like, listen, like...
I kind of agreed with you.
Sprinting is not necessary.
It's not necessary, which I agree with you. You don't need it if the level design allows for it, but I like the opportunity to sprint.
Sure.
So I do like sprinting.
Sure, yeah. And so people at home understand, the tweet was criticizing another tweet that was criticizing Halo Infinite. When you sprint, you move like 2% faster.
And you move fast, like... Normally, you're not moving around slowly.
The walk speed is fast.
Yeah,
like,
it's fast.
It's a fast-moving game,
and the sprint does go faster, doesn't it? Just not enough.
Yeah,
faster.
but you can keep up while walking. That's the difference. Is like in every other game, if a motherfucker is hauling ass, like you're not going to catch him. Anyways, no, I think it looks good. People seem high on it.
Yeah. So, I don't know if we're going to get access to any kind of beta at any point.
Oh, you mean the general public?
Yeah, the general public. Yeah, I know it was ending today, I believe.
Well, that technical test was for general public. You could sign up for. I saw a lot of randoms giving their opinions. They're 1-2s. A lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't look good graphically. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
The only person I saw that I knew playing was Chris Raygun, big Halo fan. So yeah, I assumed
I saw he was positive. He was up on it.
It looks very fun. Looks enjoyable.
Those in the kind of funny circles are real high on it. People seem up on it, man. People seem to like it a lot. I mean, granted, it was all like you were just fighting bots, so let's see how like actual. But in terms like if people were entertained for a whole week of just fighting bots, that's probably a pretty good sign.
That is pretty good, actually.
I imagine. Anyways, Connor.
Is something popping?
Something might be popping here. Hold on, I gotta move my thing around. I wasn't as ready as I thought I was when I hit record, but it's fine. Everything is fine now. Let's go ahead. Let's drop some sense on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the two games.
That was a bad one. It's a bad one, dude. I'm sorry. You're good on it usually, just not this one.
Episode 54. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host, Connor Elliott. Say hi to the people, Connor.
Howdy.
If you didn't know, this show, me and Connor come together every week. Monday, 8 a.m., YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We're out here. Give us a subscribe, a like, a share, a comment, whatever you like, man. It really does help. We appreciate it a lot. But we come to you every week at Monday, 8 a.m. with the new news that you need to know concerning mostly just the video game industry. We come to you each with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. You can watch us play video games live over at twitch.tv/2pennygames, where me and my good buddy Phil, every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Time, sit down and we do our little show called Hype, H-Y-E-P, Have You Ever Played, in which one of us shows the other one a video game they have never played before. Currently, we are just beginning our Mass Effect 3 adventure, finishing off the trilogy, Phil's first time playing, and Connor, because I know you don't watch the streams because you're a fake fan.
Yeah.
He's having a good time. He's having a really good time. We did not get very far in the first day, so it makes me think this is probably going to be the longest series we've had to date.
I mean, it is the longest game as well that you played up until this point, I believe.
Mass Effect 2 is pretty long, too. You can make Mass Effect 1 really long.
But Mass Effect 3, I think, is the longest.
You kind of have to.
Try it.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a long one, but we're having a good time. If you can't catch the live shows, hop back over to the youtube.com/2pennygamescast, where you will find uploads of our hype streams cut up in a nice little, I say bite size, they're about an hour long each. Currently, we're putting up the Metal Gear Solid, our first ever hype series, up on YouTube right now. You can catch the first, I think, 7 hours are up right now. 7 of 10 hours are up right now. And then probably next week we'll start putting up those Kingdom Hearts 1 videos.
Mm-hmm.
Which
start
is gonna
getting
be a
those
pain
out.
because the way we recorded it, it was all scuffed. The first day was bad.
I remember you telling me that was the worst one you did.
Yeah, it's not great. There's a clicking in the audio, so I got to edit around that. And it's going to be a lot of fast forwarding, like quick cuts, a lot of. Yeah, I'm basically going to knock that first day into probably about 30 minutes.
I don't see how you can edit around a click in the audio.
It's not good. It's going to come with it. Anyways, that's beside the point. Connor, let's get to the show.
Yeah, the first penny, once again, second time in a week, not being a good one.
Listen, we got to eat our vegetables. We got to take our medicine.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. So, first penny, your first penny of the day. I've decided. Activision walkout recap. Activision Blizzard walkout recap. If you remember, last week we covered a disgraceful amount of sexual harassment and just general poor management and just atrocious behavior of over there at Activision Blizzard. It's a industry-wide problem that we have. Not a surprising story at all. But man, this Activision Blizzard shit is nasty.
Exceptionally bad. Even compared to the Ubisoft stuff that happened a while
it's
ago.
all nasty.
It's all nasty, but this is even almost more rampant, especially with some of the stories we've heard ever since the first initial lawsuit broke out.
And then since then, Activision Blizzard employees had a strike. They had a walkout, protested all day. Great to see it. Loved to see it. And then a couple of other things happened around that we're going to kind of all compile into one topic and give a full update on. So, starting with IGN, Kat Bailey, and Joe Screbbles' article, Activision Blizzard employees stage walkout, and this has been heavily updated article. So, we're going to start with the original one that came out the 27th, and then we'll work our way back to present day. Activision Blizzard employees have announced that they intend to stage a walkout on Wednesday, July 28th. The walkout comes in protest at the response from company leadership to a lawsuit highlighting harassment, inequality, and more within the company. Announced in a statement of intent, employees explained that internal and external responses from Activision Blizzard after the announcement of the lawsuit have led them to believe, quote, believe that our values as employees are not being accurately reflected in the words and actions of our leadership. The walkout calls on the company's leaderships to work with employees on a list of demands to improve conditions and for employees at the company, especially women and in particular women of color and transgender women, non-binary people, and other marginalized groups. You can read the full list of demands below. Taking place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific, as in-person walkout will congregate at the Blizzard campus main gate. A virtual walkout will take place on the same day from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific, with employees unable to attend in person invited to stop work and share the hashtag ActiBlizzWalkout on social media. The employee demands are as followed. 1. An end to mandatory arbitration clauses in all employee contracts, current and future. Arbitration clauses protect abusers and limit the ability of victims to seek restitution. 2. The adoption of recruiting, interviewing, hiring, and promotion policies designed to improve representation among employees at all levels, agreed upon by employees in a company-wide diversity, equity, and inclusion organization. Current practices have led to women, in particular women of color and transgender women, non-binary people, and other marginalized groups that are vulnerable to gender discrimination not being hired fairly for new roles when compared to men. 3. Publication of data on relative compensation, including equity gains, profit sharing, promotion rates, and salary ranges for employees of all genders and ethnicities at the company. Current practices have led to the aforementioned groups not being paid or promoted fairly. Number 4. Empower a company-wide diversity, equity, and inclusion task force to hire a third party to audit ABK's Activision Blizzard. What does that K stand for? Do you know?
It's not corporation.
ABK's reporting structure, HR department, and executive staff. It is imperative to identify how current systems have failed to prevent employee harassment and to propose new solutions to address these issues. Last week, okay, that's an update from last week. So, moving up to the first update in this IGN article. According to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, Blizzard has told employees that it will offer paid time off to those who participate in the walkout scheduled for tomorrow. A source within Blizzard separately confirmed that to the report to IGN, calling it a strong signal that the publisher intends to work with employees. Next, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick issued a new statement calling Activision Blizzard's initial statement tone-deaf. Kotick promised swift action and said there's no place anywhere for discrimination, harassment, or unequal treatment of any kind, promising to review Activision Blizzard's policies and procedures with law firm Wilmer Hale. In the short term, Kotick announced that Activision Blizzard could be investigating every claim of harassment while offering listening sessions and evaluating managers. He also pledged to add resources to ensure that Activision Blizzard's hiring practices are more diverse. A source within Activision Blizzard told IGN that a response would be issued soon and that employees stand by their demands. Kodak's statement followed the announcement this morning that Activision Blizzard employees would be staging a walkout tomorrow, being Wednesday. And then final update. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, real quick, just because I need to point it out. Wilmer Hale, I can't remember if we were going to mention it in another article earlier, but they are known in the past for focusing on union busting. And they're the people who are handling the procedures with what's going on in Activision. So use that to take whatever they say going forward with a grain of salt, considering that they're the ones handling that kind of stuff. Quick little information for you.
And then final update for this IGN article. Activision Blizzard employees involved in today's walkout have responded to Bobby Kodak's statement, saying they are pleased that the tone of leadership communications has been changed, but that it fails to address multiple concerns expressed by those at the company. The response provided to IGN points out that Kodak's statement does not address concerns or demands from those involved in the walkout or a recent open letter. The statement says that the walkout marks the beginning of, quote, an enduring movement in favor of better labor conditions for all employees, and that the group expects, quote, a prompt response and a commitment to action from leadership. It's also worth noting, I saw a lot of standing together in the industry this last Wednesday. A lot of Ubisoft employees were walking out as well. We covered it last week. Ubisoft widespread mismanagement and sexual harassment, as has been proven over the last year as well.
Yes, and specifically nothing was done about it because the people who were guilty of them just were moved around to other departments. Yeah. So they never actually got punished or fired.
And then I saw something of the numbers of upwards of 2,000 employees striking together. So all of that is great to see. We'd love to see it. This is how we induce real change. Now, in terms of, is management listening? Who knows?
They say they are, but
we'll find out. I saw Jason Schreier of Bloomberg post an article saying, "Hey, man, they don't really seem to be listening as much as we want them to," et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And some other stories were coming out, specifically the one we're about to read right now. That this shit is just fucking gross and disgusting.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you think it can't get any worse, and then it just kind of happens.
It just keeps going. So we're going to pull a quick Kotaku article by Ethan Gack. Inside Blizzard developers' infamous Bill Cosby suite. Since news broke last week of widespread allegations of sexual harassment and discrimination at Activision Blizzard, via a legal complaint from the state of California, many top male developers there, both current and former, have responded with shock and dismay. But while many claims that they weren't aware of the problematic frat boy culture leading to accusations of sexual harassment and assault at the hands of male Blizzard employees, comments and images shared on social media paint a different picture. Based on photographs and screenshots of Facebook posts obtained by Kotaku, it's clear that people beyond Alex Afrasiabi, the man named in the lawsuit and a longtime World of Warcraft developer, were aware of the Cosby suite mentioned in the lawsuit. That was apparently a nickname for Asabi's BlizzCon 2013 hotel room, and seemingly a reference to the name of previously convicted rapist Bill Cosby. I'm going to mispronounce his name every time, but he's a piece of shit, so who cares? Worked on World of Warcraft beginning in 2004, designed some of its biggest quests, and eventually became a creative director on the 2016 Legion and 2018 Battle for Azeroth expansions. He is the only person outside of Blizzard President J. Allen Brack outright named in the lawsuit, a fact that's made it easy for many to try to distance themselves from his actions. Quote, during a company event, an annual convention called BlizzCon, Afrasiabi would hit on female employees, telling him he wanted to marry them, attempting to kiss them, and putting his arms around them, the complaint reads. This was in plain view of other male employees, including supervisors, who had to intervene and pull him off female employees. He was so known to engage in harassment of females that his suite was nicknamed the Crosby Suite after alleged rapist Bill Crosby.
Not really alleged.
There's a typo here. It's Bill Cosby.
Nope.
But the Cosby Suite was more than just a nickname or a joke. Based on images and comments he posted on his Facebook supplied to Kotaku by a former developer at Blizzard, it was reportedly a booze-filled meeting place where many, including Afrasiabi, would pose with an actual portrait of Bill Cosby while smiling. It was also a hot spot for informal networking at BlizzCon, 3 sources told Kotaku, where people looking to make inroads at the company would go to meet and hang out with some of its top designers. Afrasabi did not respond to Kotaku by press time and has deleted most of his social media presence, but Afrasabi can clearly be seen in a number of pictures surrounded by a variety of unidentified people sitting on a bed. The captions on the screenshot suggest the album hails from gatherings held for BlizzCon 2013 in a hotel room that was repeatedly referred to as the Cosby Suite in comments. The captions and comments are both written by and referred by name to other Blizzard employees, the pictures show. One ex-Blizzard source familiar with the people presented in the pictures identified an HR representative as one of the Blizzard employees present in the hotel room. That's important. We'll touch back on that here in a second. Another image from the same Facebook album shows a screenshot of a 2013 group chat called the BlizzCon Cosby Crew. In it, former Blizzard designer David Kozik writes, quote, "I am gathering the hot chicks for the cause." "Bring 'em," replies Afrasabi. "You can't marry all of them, Alex," Kozik writes. "I can. I'm Middle Eastern," responds Afrasabi. Jesse McCree, currently a lead game designer at Blizzard, then writes, "You misspelled fuck." Obviously referencing the Mary
obviously.
jab. Corey Stockton, currently a lead game designer at Blizzard, and Greg Street, former Blizzard developer, currently working on a new MMO at Riot Games, were also present in that chat. The chat was provided as a series of screenshots depicting a wide array of Facebook posts by Afrasabi, all under a 2013 photo album. The album contained a picture exclusively dedicated to the amount of alcohol procured in preparation for the Cosby Suite. According to the captions, the album showcases the large frame Cosby photo from a variety of angles held by a number of different people. Quote, "Possibly the greatest group chat in the history of mankind," Stockton wrote in a Facebook comment at the time based on the screenshot. Fucking gross. And then, yeah, we don't need to get into their updates of their responses and so forth. This is gross. It really just shows just how deep this is and how long it's been going. I mean, it's been there the whole time. We all know it has been. It's just something that hasn't been addressed as blatantly as it is right now, and thank God that it is.
Yeah. It makes sense. It puts things in perspective, I should say, when you find out that someone, well, at least just one person from HR, is involved in this kind of thing. Which, you know, if one of them is involved, could easily be a number of other HR
I mean, that's really the issue, is that the people in HR are just as gross and just as disgusting, and they don't do their jobs right.
Which is why, I mean, as the demands were being shown by the Blizzard employees, having an outside party, a third party, handle these kinds of complaints is what should be happening, because that's not going to be a part of the company culture that could have already, prevent that kind of stuff from getting out into the light, as it should.
Absolutely.
I don't know what's going to happen to any of these people. I'm assuming they're going to get fired from whatever jobs they currently have. They should. Don't know if I don't know. I would like to see if anybody comes forward and actually accuses them of things that they've done, because obviously we have the group chat evidence.
A lot of that, lawsuits, legal things. Also, very personal.
Yes, very personal.
You don't want it. Yeah, we don't need to know what went down. Just what is this?
Well, you do need to know what goes down, so you bring it out to the more light.
Bring it to light. You're correct. Bring it to light. Have it. If charges need to be pursued, let's do that.
Yeah, it's up to the people who've been affected.
In terms of more of the victims, I don't need harsh details of the traumatic experiences they went through.
No. As far as that, it's up to them if they want to pursue it at all.
Entirely. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
Anyway, so that'll kind of put a frustrating and disappointing little cap on that story up to this point.
And I can expect us to see more stuff maybe within the next week. Once again, we thought it was bad, and then we saw
I mean, this story is going to be dragged out for months.
It is.
We're going to be hearing about this a lot. And then hopefully the outcome will produce results that we all want to see.
I hope so.
Moving on. Let's go ahead and jump into your second penny of the day, Connor. I've decided. Did you know that was your second penny, Connor?
I thought the last one, the next one after this, was my second
it's
penny.
Yours, motherfucker.
No, you decided, huh? Because you have the TV. Yeah, dictator. Piece of shit.
Anyways, PlayStation sold 10 million PlayStation 5s, which is great. So, pulling straight.
I don't have one, but it's fine.
You could get one, Connor, though.
No, Yeah, I could.
People are having a lot of success with that PS5 Direct thing that both me and Phil found success with.
I've tried it multiple times.
You gotta get. Oh yeah, we gotta keep trying, bro.
I know. You gotta keep trying.
I probably tried dozens of times.
Well, maybe dozens more for me is in the future.
In the future, you gotta hurry, man. Deathloop's coming.
That's not my concern, to be honest. Deathloop looks good, just not my main desire to get a PS5. But
anyways, so a new milestone. SIE sells 10 million PlayStation 5 consoles globally. We are thrilled to announce that as of July 18th, 2021, we have sold more than 10 million PlayStation 5 consoles globally. This makes PS5 the fastest-selling console in the history of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Side note, that makes it the fastest-selling console, period. And we couldn't be more excited about the amazing response of our fans. Pushing through supply challenges and a global pandemic, we're proud to have delivered a transformational gaming experience that is captivating players around the world. Everyone at SIE put their all into making the PlayStation experience better than ever. I'd like to call out a multiple of teams who made especially important contributions. Our product development team delivered amazing innovations, including lightning-fast SSD, immersive 3D audio, and the dynamic DualSense controller with haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. Their talent, perseverance, and creativity laid the foundation for the entire PS5 ecosystem. Since the console launched in November, PlayStation Studios has accelerated the momentum of incredibly successful titles that showcases the capabilities of PS5. Looking ahead, the lineup of exclusive games coming from PlayStation Studios includes a new God of War from Santa Monica Studios, Gran Turismo 7 from Polyphony Digital, and Horizon Forbidden West from Guerrilla Games. Some of the highly anticipated games from SIE's partners include Battlefield 2042 from Electronic Arts, Deathloop from Bethesda, Far Cry 6 from Ubisoft, and Kena Bridge of Spirits from Ember Lab. Additionally, our hardware, engineering, and operations team was vital in providing the resources to build the physical PS5 units and partnered with our global business operation teams to deliver PlayStation 5 from its origin point to markets and customers around the world. Both of these teams and their tireless efforts were absolutely critical in delivering 10 million units during this historic year. We are incredibly grateful for our fans and terrific reception of the PS5 and our growing portfolio of gaming entertainment. Without your support and confidence, this early success would not have been possible. We are making steady progress with available global supply, and can't wait for the day when everyone who wants a PS5 can easily get one. Our commitment to supporting PlayStation's entire community across all platforms and services has never been stronger, so wherever gamers are on their journey with us, we are committed to making sure that PlayStation is the best place to play. Thank you.
I mean, this is... Despite all the production problems they've had and getting consoles to people, it's a good thing that it's selling as much as it is. You know, it's functionally, I would say, the best console on the market right now. Mm-hmm. It has the best games coming out for it. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, I don't have access to it yet, but I'll be really excited to, so I can play these games. I always can't talk about PlayStation without the production issues, because we don't know how long those are going to last at this point. People are still predicting to, summer of 2022 at the earliest. So who really knows? But I'm happy that Sony actually made a good console, and it wasn't a failure.
Right. No, I mean, this is exciting, man. Even with everything that they have going on in terms of pandemic and supply issues and so forth, them being able to persevere through that and produce the fastest selling console of all time with. I was seeing numbers. I'm trying to pull them up real quick. I was seeing numbers for like Ratchet and Clank and for Returnal. Their attachment rates are super solid. Let me see if I can find it. Like they even went as far as to call a Returnal a major hit for them. Which
it kind of just came up. Not many people were talking about it leading up to it, and then it just kind of exploded, and everyone loved it.
Yeah, I think it was like 500,000 console or 500,000 sales for Returnal, which is great for Housemarque, which is a fairly small studio with the the jump to AAA that they got with Returnal. So pulling NME.com article, Jen Allen. PlayStation Figures reveals Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart has sold over 1.1 million units worldwide. Spider-Man Miles Morales, which has surpassed 6.5 million copies. which is fantastic. That's a great number for a spin-off side game. Returnal, released in April, has exceeded 560,000 sales so far. Fantastic. And I saw PlayStation themselves call it a mega hit. So we're going to be seeing some more from Housemarque. Housemarque is going to become one of our tentpole PlayStation studios.
Which is good to see them break out into that from making their small games, and now their first big game that sold really well.
Yep. And then MLB The Show is finding major success, surpassed 2 million sales.
Very cool game.
Those figures included its sales on non-PlayStation platforms. You'll remember MLB The Show released on Xbox this year, and is on Xbox Game Pass. So 2 million, and you're on Game Pass. Yo, that's a great that MLB The Show is doing numbers this year.
Getting some good sales going.
Fastest ever selling console. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So those are all the hard analytics. So all this is great. Yo. 560,000 units. I really got to give it to Returnal on that, man. When there's only 10 million consoles out there, not all of them are being used by actual gamers. Like you've got a good percentage of attachment rate there. So that's really, really nice to see. It's really great to see, especially because that studio is so talented and that game is so great to see them find success and hopefully continued success with their new home with PlayStation.
It's very nice.
Moving on
to your first penny.
My first penny, Connor. It's mine.
Unless you want to make this one my third penny.
Sure, fuck it. Who cares? Nah. Horizon's been delayed.
Yeah, I mean, kind of unsurprising, for me at least.
Yeah. There's not much to say here, but I'll go ahead and I'll pull this Bloomberg article from Jason Schreier. PlayStation video game Horizon Forbidden West delayed to 2022. Sony Corp has delayed the upcoming PlayStation game Horizon Forbidden West to the first quarter of 2022, according to a person familiar with the matter. Previously, it had been scheduled for release this holiday season. Horizon Forbidden West is an open-world action event. Okay, yeah. Come on now. We know this. This is for the Bloomberg audience who doesn't know anything about video games.
Oh, it is Bloomberg. I always forget that. Not really a big gaming site.
Sony didn't. Okay, where is it? In June, PlayStation Studio head Herman Holst said the game's holiday release date was tentative. Quote, for Horizon, we think we are on track to release this holiday season, he said on the PlayStation blog, quote, but that isn't quite certain yet, and we're working as hard as we can to confirm that to you as soon as we can. Sony didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. News of a possible Horizon delay was first mentioned by video game reporter Jeff Grubb on the podcast Giant Bomb. I don't think this is unexpected.
No.
Rather, it's not surprising.
It looked very good when they showed it recently. What event did they show it at?
It was a state of play dedicated specifically for Horizon games.
Yeah. It looked great. It took a lot of people's breath away. Very, very good looking game. But
very good.
Games get delayed a lot nowadays, and they were very vague on when it was coming out, despite showing that in advanced gameplay. Yep. So it's not too expected that they were delaying it from holiday of this year to 2022.
Exactly. First of all, take your time. Don't crunch your workers. Make sure they're all safe. Make sure they're all healthy. Make sure we're taking proper COVID precautions. It seems like PlayStation is taking this stance, and they're saying, hey, we know that we make the best games on the market. We're not going to keep making the best games on the market if we rush our products. Mm-hmm. So let's take our time. Let's let the artists do their art thing.
Guerrilla Games. I forgot the developer. I mean, I've never heard of any instances of them being crunched to get the games out.
I mean, it's a thing that happens in the industry, so I'm sure it's happened before, and then hopefully, I imagine it's probably even happening now, probably to a lesser degree than we've seen at other studios like Naughty Dog and
CD Projekt Red. Those are the big ones.
Forth, so, and then I know. Santa Monica did a lot of crunching for the last God of War game. Hopefully, they're not having to do that again for this time around. Hopefully, this conversation that we've been perpetually having for the last few years of crunch in this industry is leading to something. Mm-hmm. I think because the mainstream gaming audience kind of knows about it now and is talking about it now. I think we're actually starting to see some traction. It's not like just some
something people complain about from time to time. It's now actually a bigger forefront conversation.
And I think the idea of lazy developers has, I'll say it's dying and it's on its way out. But there still is that element of gamers being ignorant and being like, oh, these developers are just lazy or whatever. And like, no, man, they're working hard. It's a hard job.
Maybe not for that game that came out recently. What was it called? Balan Wonderland or something like that? People shit on that game.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, maybe one of those situations of a dying issue.
It's probably just a bad game plagued with development issues or something, and it's just bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, sometimes people work hard, and it still turns out shit.
Unfortunately. We'd like everyone to be rewarded for their work.
Exactly, yeah. And then moving on to our final topic, the topic that gets me very excited, Connor. I'm very excited.
Figured you would be.
I'm very excited. So,
being the kind of guy you are.
GameIndustry.biz article, Marie Delisandri. Naughty Dog and Infinity Ward veterans create new studio, That's No Moon. A group of industry veterans coming from the likes of Naughty Dog, Infinity Ward, Sony's Santa Monica Studio, EA, and Bungie has announced the creation of AAA studio That's No Moon. The new studio has already secured a $100 million investment from Crossfire Studios Smilegate to work on its debut title, a story-driven action-adventure game. The upcoming title will be led by Taylor Kurosaki as creative director, former narrative design lead at Naughty Dog, and studio narrative director at Infinity Ward. Jacob Minkoff as game director, former lead game designer on The Last of Us, and design director of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That's No Moon founding team also includes Michael Mumbauer, CEO, former head of PlayStation Visual Arts Group, Tina Kowalski. Oh man, a lot of these names are European. Chief Strategy Officer, current EVP and board member of Giant Squid, and former director of product development at Sony's Santa Monica Studio. Nick
Kononellos?
It's hard, man. It's hard. I don't know, man. Y'all are very European, but hey, man, respect to you.
Kononellos is
former senior development director at EA. Barry Genova, CTO, formerly Foundation Engineering Lead at Bungie. George Allison, CFO, former head of finance division. Staff will be based in Los Angeles and San Diego, with the team expected to grow to nearly 100 by 2022. That's No Moon considers itself at, quote, the intersection of games, films, and TV, the announcement added. Mumbauer commented, quote, we started That's No Moon with a singular vision of creating unforgettable stories and characters that will define and extend beyond our medium. I'm proud to share that ambition with such a talented team of creators and our incredible partners at Smilegate. We recently spoke to That's No Moon CEO Michael Mumbauer about the launch of the studio, its plans to elevate video games storytelling, and Smilegate's goal to become a, quote, global player in the industry. Connor!
Yeah, Star Wars stuff.
We're making some Star Wars games.
Yeah, well, who knows? Could be another game.
It could be whatever. It really could be whatever.
It could just be obviously the game studio itself, as you went into a thorough explanation before the show started, is a reference to Star Wars.
So that's Big Kenobi, baby.
Yeah,
that's No Moon. That's a space station. Star Wars, baby. If you look at their logo, Connor. If you look at their logo, it looks like a fucking TIE fighter, bro.
Yep.
It's a TIE fighter designed in the graphics that you would see in the original movie, because that's all that computers could make at the time. It's just those line graph presentations or something that someone could bang out in 15 minutes today.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like that. I mean, granted, it's clearly there's a T and an N and an M in it. It's not a very good looking
a lot of lines
logo for me. A lot of lines. It's a little messy in my opinion, but it's very exciting, dude. Right? Are you kidding me? Right as we end our EA Star Wars exclusive deal, a studio called That's No Moon, focused on storytelling and action adventure games. This is a Star Wars game, bro.
It sounds to me like they would take advantage of that right when it was available to them.
And we're getting multiple heads from the masters of video game storytelling in the modern era, Naughty Dog. Come on, alongside of gameplay devs from some of the best feeling shooters of all time. Oh, none of this means anything until we have a product, which will be years from now. We're looking 5, 6 plus before we see anything from
it. Just formed, so we're not seeing results.
Yeah, we're not seeing anything for a little while. We're going to see all the other studios that PlayStation has been founding. I had her name yesterday, and I've forgotten the.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the Horizon. What are they called? The Horizon Studio that's doing the. I believe they're making a multiplayer game.
Guerrilla.
No.
Horizon?
No. Horizon is a video game, but there's Horizon Studios that we talked about on this show, my friend. And then the Ratchet and Clank guys are doing something, and PlayStation is making a bunch of moves and building new studios in a bunch of really fascinating and interesting ways. But we're seeing a bunch of like third-party devs come out of nowhere and build these massive undertakings. Like, this is noteworthy in a lot of very interesting ways, especially their little quote about the intersection of games, film, and TV. What?
That sounds weird.
Dude, all the clues are here. The intersection of games, films, and TV. What fucking property, what, IP is wider spread than Star Wars? Like, Star Trek. You have Star Wars everywhere. There's Star Wars video games, movies, TV, comic books, fucking art books.
Still could be Star Trek.
Whatever you want. Shut the fuck up. Fuck you. Stop stepping on my moment. Nobody wants a Star Trek game.
No, but I hope it would be, because it'd be funny. It'd be ironic. No, that's No Moon Studio making a Star Trek game.
That's not true.
That'd be pretty funny.
I would take a Star Trek game.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was that VR Star Trek game. It was like a little simulator.
I didn't hear about that. No, I didn't hear about that.
Man. It was like one of the like big VR titles that came out when VR first popped up on the market. Everybody had like their little like station. So like there was like the engineer, and then there was the captain, and then there was the guy managing the weapons and the engines and all this shit. And it was like, and you had to communicate with each other to succeed and stuff. It's very rudimentary VR stuff.
But still, it was...
Yeah, but still...
Apparently, was it good? People like it?
People liked it.
Okay, good.
It was one of those, like, early VR games that people were like, okay, this is cool, this could go somewhere.
Yeah. Probably was it kind of gimmicky? Because you only do one thing.
Kind of gimmicky, it was pretty short, not a lot going on in it, but, you put 5 people in some VR headsets, and they're looking around, talking to each other and stuff. It's a good time. But I digress. This is great. I'm excited. Give me some kind of fucking Star Wars Uncharted game that Fallen Order tried to be but wasn't. I'm so excited. Give me a fucking heavily storytelling video game about Star Wars.
What was that Star Wars game that got delayed a while ago? That was it had some kind of gameplay type trailer. What was it called? Star Wars. It was like Numbers or something like that. It got canceled.
You're thinking of Star Wars 1313? That was a bounty hunter game that got canceled when EA got their hands on the license.
It was a bounty hunter game.
Oh, no, it was when Disney got their hands on Star Wars. They canceled it.
Yeah. So maybe, we can see a resurgence of those games now that EA doesn't have that anymore.
I think this is more accurately Visceral Games. No, I don't think it's that. I don't know. Because Visceral Games, headed by Amy Hennig, was supposed to make a basically Uncharted but Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
That got canceled. Amy Hennig left, doing some indie game shit now.
All this is speculation because it's brand new studio.
Yeah, it's 100% excited, but I'm excited, man. I want some Star Wars.
Yeah.
I want some Star Wars. I'm just so excited where Lucasfilm Games is, or what are they called? Lucasfilm Games?
Lucasfilm Game? They've changed it.
I'm very excited to see where they're going with all of this. We've got that Division Star Wars game coming down the pipeline in another few years or whatever. I'm still holding out hope for a Battlefront 3. Jedi Fallen Order 2 is surely coming. There's no way it's not. And then, the Indiana Jones game with not Rocksteady. Fucking Machine Gun Games.
Uh-huh. Yeah. See some Wolfenstein type stuff going on there.
I'm very, very, very fucking excited. And then now, can you imagine if we had a whole fucking dev studio dedicated to just making the best Star Wars games? So excited.
I prefer Lord of the Rings, but I guess that works.
Gives a shit what you prefer. This isn't about you.
It is about a lot of people, but Star Wars, I guess you can have another time in the sun.
Lord of the Rings,
we'll give you that.
We got a Lord of the Rings game coming, Connor. Amazon, baby.
Oh, God. That hasn't been bad. That hasn't had bad news coming out of that.
Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for the news this week. Easier to get through than last week. Not as many vegetables to eat. But,
no.
Still just as important that we eat those veggies.
Yeah.
Veggies.
Only had some Brussels sprouts this week.
That's stupid. All right. Moving on.
You started the vegetable thing, not me. What's wrong with it?
Carter, let's talk about what we've been playing.
Yes.
I think it's more interesting if you start. What have we been playing?
Well, I've started playing my Switch copy of Xenoblade Chronicles Remastered. Ugh. So I played a little bit of the game on my new 3DS back when I got it, since that was like the big game that was being advertised for the last DS that came out. Mm-hmm. When I compare that game to this game, first of all, visually it looks way, way, way better. It's very nice to look at. It's got, obviously, an anime design to it. It's a Japanese game.
Yeah.
Came out all the way back in 2010. So they had a lot of work to do to improve the visuals of it. Done good by that margin. And the environments also look good, along with the character designs. That's all great. They've improved quality of life problems that the original game had. Because there's tons and tons of side quests. They're simple, like... You find items lying around on the ground everywhere in Xenoblade, and you pick them up, and usually those apply to missions and killing certain enemy types. So it was very easy to do them, but you usually couldn't find where those missions were. But now they have exclamation points everywhere you go.
Put a little marker
to tell where everything is, so you can easily do those quests. That's those are the two big changes that the game has. But besides that, the game itself is very fun. It's the kind of gameplay that I can describe it as. Kind of like Dragon Age Origins. I don't know what kind of combat system that is, where you're controlling
all your party members, and
now,
you're bouncing around in tactical view.
Tactical view. You can't pause the game in this, though. There's no. Well, you can if you do certain chain attacks, which allow you to, actually control what your teammates are doing, because your teammates actually do things independently of their own.
Yeah.
They're left to their own devices, while you control the party leader, which you can change to any of the characters. So you have a lot of control over that. But it's pretty complex. There's lots of different status effects that bleed into one another. So, for example, the common tactic that it recommends you to do is to inflict something called break. Certain moves inflict that status effect, which then can be added on by toppling the enemy with a move that inflicts topple, which flips them over.
What is break? Is this just a stagger?
It leads to topple, which topples them over. And they're on their backs and they can't move, they can't do attacks. And then you can daze them after that point, so they have a longer topple stun. It takes for them longer to get out of that. So that has a big impact on the gameplay.
Is it like really action focused?
It's very action focused.
You're looking like a Platinum Games almost type.
No. It's like you choose your character, whoever you're controlling, auto attacks along with your other teammates, and you have combat arts that you select.
So it's more like
those kind of effects.
More like almost like MMO type.
Yeah, actually, that's a better way to describe it. Okay. It's more in depth, more hands on. So it's because you're constantly controlling the whole party, and you're trying to synergize with their abilities to kill the enemy as quick as possible.
So it's less about direct input and more about timing abilities. And waiting for these cooldowns to hit at the right moments.
Yes,
best results. Okay.
Yes, it is. A really cool thing that the game does in the story. I'm not going to go into the story. The main weapon that the character uses can tell the future. You can see into the future. Very big narrative part of the game, but they include it in the gameplay by making it to where if a certain attack is going to be put out by an enemy that's going to do massive damage, it's going to inflict some kind of status effect on one of your team members, or something crazy like that, it'll tell you before it happens. So that way you can either try to aggro the enemy so it goes on to somebody else who might be able to tank that hit better, try to topple them so they cancels that move out so they can't do that, heal, do all those kinds of things.
It's a set party, or you can pick party members?
You have multiple party members you can swap in and out at will. And
How big is your party?
What?
How big
3 at a single given time, which you can change out on the fly. It's very, very easy to change it out. So you're constantly finding new equipment as well, because it is an RPG, so you're leveling up, you're choosing how you want to level up certain arts, whether they have a certain, their cooldown is lower, they do more damage.
You're getting your stat game going.
Yeah, the basic things like that. Not super far into the plot yet. I do know the game's very long, so I still have a ways to go before I actually play it.
Shit.
Classic JRPG, yeah. But
I gotta get back to Scarlet Nexus.
Scarlet Nexus is the one where you choose the
that's
that
more like Platinum Games type thing.
Platinum Games stuff.
That's an anime ass game.
Yeah. Xenoblade isn't beyond the character design. It's not very anime. The way the characters act or the tropes in there. So it's a lot more accessible as far as those kinds of games go to people that otherwise would be more averse to that kind of a style. But the game is very entertaining. Looking forward to get my hands on it more. It's got some interesting story beats. It's teasing some things. Yeah.
You feeling a little teased, Connor?
I'm a little teased. I can be excited for what's coming next, even though I do know some of the stuff that happens.
Oh, sure. It's an old game.
Yeah, it is an old game. Yeah. Very, very old.
All right. Fantastic. I've been playing God of War in 2018 in preparation for the eventual hype series that we'll do for it. Remember, twitch.tv/2pennygames.
Sorry.
Hype. Go ahead.
Curious. So, do you think you're going to do that the God of War after Phil chooses his next game?
No, we're probably gonna polish off the Uncharted trilogy.
Oh, you told me that before.
And then insert God of War 3 and God of War 2018, and then we're gonna double back to Uncharted 4 because Uncharted 4 I've decided to delay. Like we're not gonna back to back it for that because there's a sense of nostalgia in Uncharted 4 that I feel is kind of necessary to the experience.
I agree.
You know, so I think putting a little bit of time between 3 and 4 will help Phil understand that feeling a little better.
Yeah, right. I'm surprised you didn't do that for Mass Effect 3, because it seems like there's certain moments more than others really also has that nostalgia aspect as well, depending on what you do.
I don't agree. No, not nostalgia, but like fan service. There's a lot of fan service in Mass Effect 3, which you can just get just by binging through it, and then also it's just like Mass Effects are bigger games, lot more to remember. There's already like a bunch of times where he's like, did I meet this person before? And I'm like, yes, I think. He's in the first game, but I don't know if we did that quest or not.
Some of those smaller characters are forgettable at times. Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, and then there's times where he's like, I met this guy, and I'm like, no, this is a completely new character. You don't know who this is.
Did he ever have an alien racist moment where he's like, this character looked the same as that other character because of the same alien race?
Not an alien. He did that with a human.
Oh, well,
one of the I guess you could call them like Senate committee hearing people in the beginning of Mass Effect 3 in the intro looks just like the redesign for Kelly Chambers.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, that's Kelly. And I'm like, no, it's not Kelly.
No, it's not, don't worry.
Is Kelly in this game? And I go, she is, but she's just not here. So anyways. And then, did you, in Mass Effect, this is a little spoiler. Phil, if you're here, fuck off. Fuck off. And I'm going to speak codedly. I'm going to speak in code as to not give any tips. But Phil, if you're here, fuck off. Did you find on the Citadel early in the game, before the end of that first arc, did you find a certain character in the Commons who is related to another character?
Yes.
You found that character.
I'm surprised
you know who I'm talking
that
about.
wasn't in the... I found it, and I was like, if I didn't talk to this person, never would have come up.
If you don't talk to that person in one of the other games, they don't show up.
Oh, even then, they don't. Oh,
and really, that window was really easy to miss in 3.
I
missed it in my last playthrough, because I didn't know exactly when that character showed up.
Only the first... Yeah, after the first arc, first act is over.
Before the first act. You want it before things happen on the Citadel.
Yes.
Anyways.
Oh, did you talk to that character in 2? Or did Phil?
Yeah.
Phil did. Okay.
Phil talked. I made sure Phil talked to that character.
Oh, you did? Okay,
yeah,
good,
it was like
good
a thing he's like, why am I doing this? I was like, you'll want to do this.
Yeah, and that was the first time I knew that had payoff, because I didn't do that in 3. In my first playthrough in 3 back in the day.
Yeah. That was one of those things that I discovered later.
And
I was like, oh shit, you're here!
Yep.
Yeah, but it's great. So, it's like one of those things that's like, even... Because if you watched our hype stream for the first... I think we went 8 hours, 7-8 hours, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
For Mass Effect 3, we didn't even make it to the first real arc.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we did the intro missions, the little prologue stuff, the Mars mission, and so forth.
And you told me. Yeah,
and then we did some side stuff, and then we dicked around on the Citadel for like an hour.
2 hours by your count.
I don't remember.
Yeah, a long time.
It was a week ago. I've slept a few times since then. Anyways, it's been a great time. I'm excited. Phil. Like, every time I see him, he's like, I just want to play more Mass Effect. And I was like, I know you do, buddy. We're going to do it.
This seems to be the first Mass Effect game he's liked out of the gate, because he's always been a little bit hesitant in each one, hasn't he? I know he was in 1. I mean,
1 he was just because he's, I don't want to say shallow. He takes some time to warm up to new experiences. And, 1's gameplay is 1's gameplay, even though it's vastly improved. 2, he liked out of the gate. He was like, this is good. It's just not I just didn't like it as much as 1 mechanically. And then, but like 3, like, can anybody deny that's a really good third-person shooter? That game feels really good to play.
It does.
Anyways.
Which is why I want the multiplayer. I would love
Put it out. EA. There's enough fucking demand. Put it out.
Surprisingly.
Ladies and gentlemen, that'll be it for your 2 Penny Gamescast episode 54. Remember, you can get us on youtube.com/2 Penny Gamescast or podcast services of your choice: Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts. We're out on these main streamers. We're on the main streamers. Anyways, You can catch us every Monday, 8 a.m. Remember, you can catch After the Hype reviews. Currently, the Crash Bandicoot one is out right now. It was on last week's episode, but if you missed it, didn't listen to the full thing, you can catch the standalone review where I review Crash Bandicoot in 2021. And it was a game. And I played it.
You got a lot of it.
You gotta go over there to go find out how I felt about it.
Uh-huh.
You gotta go.
Chilling for the content.
Yeah, you gotta go give us that click. Give us that click. It's a good time.
I know what your thoughts are on that game.
Or you can watch us play Hype live, twitch.tv/2pennygames every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central Time, where we're going to be continuing our Mass Effect 3 journey. Or, if that doesn't work for you either, I'm putting up Hype stream videos over at youtube.com/2pennygamescast, in which you can watch Phil react for the first time to Metal Gear Solid 1. We streamed that almost a year ago.
Oh.
Well, 7 months ago. Because that was back in January that we did that. So, you can go watch that right now. I've cut a bunch of filler out. Sped up some segments that take too long, like some of these boss fights where he gets stuck. Sped through that real quick. I think the most recent episode, I just put text on the screen and made it go like real fast for like a minute and a half, where it just says Phil dies 3 more times. Anyways,
dies a lot in that game.
It was beginning it was early in our journey.
Oh, okay.
Earlier, I had to learn how to coach Phil through some video games after that experience, because he is very much a bang his head against the wall, impatient. Like,
and that game is
clunky, old. But I think it holds up fairly well, but it definitely needs that Blue Point remake that we surely fucking just announce it already. Just do it. Let me know what's happening.
Says the Metal Gear shill.
I want it so bad. Anyways, until next week, you can catch up on all that great content, or you can just sit around and wait for the next episode, I guess, but that's not fun.
No, I wouldn't.
Who's sitting around on their go watch some content, man. Give us a like, give us a comment, give us a subscribe, or don't, but do.
You can't tell them what to do. You never can tell the internet what to do.
Anyways, until then, have a great week. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
See ya.